Right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's been 2 weeks since I've last done my video, and that's because I've lost all motivation to do any videos. The greenhouse is so busy and everything's just exploding. So I've got a few minutes spare. I've had a lot of spare time, but I've not been doing this with it. But I'm gonna quickly show you around. The seeds are all coming up. I don't even know if I've told you what seeds I'm growing, but they're all coming up. I've got courgettes, beetroot, onion seeds, marigolds, Rebecca, cucumbers, what else? And then a few flowers. But I'll quickly show you all that because that's all coming up. And I've got some cannas. I probably shouldn't just list it. I need to show you around. I also have purchased some lilies that grow 2.5 meters tall, which I need to pot up, but I'm running out of compost, so I'm just going to be using the dirt out of my greenhouse, as I want to save the compost I've got for my hanging baskets, which I have plants on order, which should be coming, they said sometime in April. Whenever that will be, I do not know, but when they come I need to have the compost ready because they need to be potted up straight away. So I'll start showing you just a couple of bits here and now. So I've grown lots of red cannas from seed. I say lots, I think only 6 came up. Yeah, I've got 6 red cannas, and one of them came up green. So I've got like, these were in my bedroom. I didn't show these on my channel, but these are in my room in the propagator, and I brought them out the other day just on a whim because I was getting sick of all that space being taken up in my room. But yeah, then I've got this one green one. And these were I collected the seed myself from my uni with consent, and yeah, these one came up green, so that was very weird. Yeah, you might notice, if anyone's noticed, I feel like I need to mention it, but my hair's not blonde anymore. So I had my quarantine cut and now it's completely gone, which I'm sad about, but maybe I'll re-dye it. Let me know what you guys think. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to know what you guys think. My sweet peas are growing like crazy, and the roots are all coming out the bottom, so they need to be potted out. But I don't want to pot them out like now because we're not. I know these can survive cold weather, but our last frost is at the end of April, and I don't really want to risk it. Like, if I can keep them in here and have them waiting a bit longer, then I think I will. Well, I will, because I am. Carnivorous plants are going crazy as well. A lot of the sarracenias are coming up nicely, and there are a couple of flower buds starting to come up on some of my fly traps, which I probably won't be able to show you because they're just so tiny at the moment. But yeah, I'll turn the camera around and start showing you stuff. I hope you guys are all fine and well. There's too much to do and so much time to do it, but I just haven't been doing it, which is just so weird, but it is what it is, and I'm doing it now. So also, anyone that has scrolled back in some of my really old videos would know, when old I'm saying about 7-8 years ago, I grew a wisteria from seed. And last year I was so excited because they start flowering after 7 years once grown from seed. So last year was the 7th year, and I was so excited. I was ready for it to like flower, and it didn't flower. So this year it is covered. When I say covered, there are about 5 buds on it, and I'm just counting down until it flowers. So I need to show you that as well. So down here are the courgettes, which are growing huge, and they're going to need to be transplanted pretty much ASAP because they're just going to dry out those cells far too quickly. Next to there we've got the beetroot, which all need dividing pretty soon as well. A few of them have died off just where I was a bit heavy with the watering, and because they're just so close together, they're a bit fragile. And then we've got some onion seeds. These were sent to me for free, so I just chucked them in, and we'll see what happens with those. Here we've not had a very good start with the lettuce. a lot of them didn't come up. They are old seeds. They were, I think, 2 years out of date or something. And I think it is just a bit too hot in here for these during the day, because it gets easily 30 degrees in here when the sun's on the greenhouse. So they're like, I'm not sure whether I'll be putting that much effort into those. Over here I've got all my tomatoes. All but one have came up, but it's weird because one has come up with 2 in it. So potentially oh no, wait, he's coming up. Yeah, I can just see him. Oh cool, so, well, I'm not going to use that many anyway, so yep, they've all come up there. Over here I've just got a mixture of everything. I've got this one potato here that I stuck in this pot because I just wanted to get as many planted as I can. Down here, obviously the sweet peas, which I already showed. Next to that is the Rudbeckia. These Rudbeckia, I saved the seeds off of the Rudbeckia that I had in my garden, that's still in my garden. I mean, like, the seed heads were still there from last like autumn, so I've collected the seeds off of that, sowed them in lines, and they're all coming up, which is frustrating. And, well, it's really good, but frustrating because I bought some really nice Rudbeckia seeds online this year to grow, and only 3 seeds came up, which are just up here. And these are Rudbeckia, what are they called? Cherokee Sunsets. They're a really nice, like, chocolatey colour. And I've only got 3 of those, so I'm really trying to make sure they don't die. And then we've got the marigolds here, which I'm going to plant out in the same sort of places that I planted them out last year, just like as little fillers. The potatoes, which I planted the other day, have exploded, and I need to fill those up, because look how tall it doesn't look that tall from here, but that's like a foot, pretty much a foot tall. So I need to get some compost filled in there, but again, running low on compost. Over here I bought these. So the story with these is I bought some erigeron seeds, sowed the whole packet, none of them came up. I've thrown them out because they were there for about 4 weeks. And then I bought plug plants online, and they're looking a bit naff at the moment because they're still acclimatizing. I planted them in those pots 2 days ago, so they're still just really fresh in there. And this area under here is empty, well, empty on top, but I planted potatoes in under there, the first earlies, same as these guys, and they haven't come up yet, so they're coming up a lot slower than the rest, but I'm sure they will come up. The soil is a lot heavier there, so they're probably having a little bit more of a hard time coming up through the soil. That's what I've concluded anyway. And then what have I not mentioned here? I've got my Drosera binata divisions. Sorry, went off camera. They're all coming up nicely. Some of these are getting really long. And then let's go up to this top bench. So here we've got the oxeye daisies. Are all coming up nicely. I'm going to keep these in those cells for as long as possible, only because I really don't have much space, and they're a little hardier than a lot of other plants that I have in here. Next to that I've got this scabies. I don't know the variety name off the top of my head, but these need transplanting really soon because these plugs are not really gonna keep those going for very long. Here we've had a bit of a sad show. We've only got one. Well, one came up here, got eaten by a snail, and then this one's come up, but it just doesn't look very nice. If I can, you see it looks a little yellow and brown. And then the same happened here. One came up here, got eaten by a slug. I did find that, not slug, snail, which I found and removed from the greenhouse. But we've got one there, so you win some, you lose some. And I had a really, those seeds came from Sarah Raven. I bought them last year. I sowed them all, not all of them. I sowed a lot of them last year, and I think only one came up last year as well, so I probably won't buy those again. But that's phlox and consolida and scabies, oxeye daisies. They're all doing fine. That half is great, that half is not. And then we've got more of the Drosera binatas there, which, if I can get an image, they're just so nice. I'll see if I can stick an image, like a picture, over the top of these, because some of these, especially when the sun's shining on them, they just look incredible. And these varieties catch so many flies. I almost feel a bit cruel keeping these because they just kill so many things. Right, over here we've got this brand new fly trap which I bought on eBay. I got it for £6 and this is the Green Wizard, and the thing that I love about these is you can just see the teeth actually like go inwards rather than sticking out straight. Like these stick out a lot more straight, and these are similar to sawtooth but they just kind of go in, so it looks a bit like it reminds me of like the Cheshire Cat smile, that sort of thing. We've got some marigolds there. I have a sunflower seed, just the single sunflower seed. I only put this in there like 2 days ago, so it hasn't come up yet. Here I haven't grown cucumbers in a fair few years, and I bought some online on eBay from Green Shop Happy, or Happy Green Shop, I don't really know. But I sowed 8 because I know that from previously they just don't germinate very well. But all 8 are coming up, so I'm going to have a lot of cucumber plants. I'll probably only be able to use about 4 of them, so maybe I'll see if anyone wants any, or I don't know, see if I can grow them anywhere else in my garden. And I won't give you a full detailed look over here because I know I just recently did in my previous video, but we can have a brief look. So the B52, the Dracula, all of these are doing really well. They're really settling in nicely. The babies are taking a long time, but then none of them are dying, and they've got all their new traps that are coming through are really healthy and vigorous, so all is doing good here. Over here I've got the bird's foot trefoil, or trefoil, however you say that word. They are going crazy. I need to transplant a few of them. Obviously I can't keep all of them, so I'm gonna like prick out a few, put them in pots, grow them on a bit more, and then plant them out, like, and try and naturalize them in the garden somewhere. Oh, there's a little spider on here, look at him. It's a little jumping spider having a hard time on the cactus. Down here we've got the cosmos. These are all doing really well. They need transplanting out of these small cells. They just grow so quickly, and they grow too quickly for my efforts. But I'll probably start pinching out the tops. So probably best to do that with a pair of secateurs or something. But you just prick out the tops, and then it will branch out from the lowest, from these side shoots here, from these leaves. So from the internodes, it will just shoot out some side shoots, and that way you can get a bushier plant with more flowers. So there's a little tip there. I'll probably do that with a lot of these because they're getting so lanky. Like that one, why is it so tall? They've been outside, it's not like they've been like sewn on a windowsill, but that's that. Weeds coming up in here, nothing else is coming up in there. I don't hold too high hopes with those. They were just the red Acer seeds that I collected off my own Acer. Yeah, these are doing good. The euonymus and the Verbena bonariensis is doing great. That little one, I did prick it out and it's kind of grown a lot of new side shoots, but this one is kind of being more predominant. The hellebore seedlings are doing good, taking their slow time, but no decline, so they're doing good. They're going to be fine. And yeah, everything needs transplanting, especially these guys, quickly. So I don't really know. I'm just gonna have to because normally I'd wait for them to grow their first leaf and then transplant them, which I may still do, but you can just see they're drying out really quickly, which could be a bit detrimental to them. Yeah, these are drying out too quickly as well. Some of these are just dying off. But I'll probably be sowing more of these, and I'll probably sow them a bit thinner just to keep them a bit more healthy. What else? Got a load of mess. My hanging baskets are ready to go. My Brugmansia there has started to shoot. Let me just move it over. You can see loads of new shoots coming, and this one side here has grown so much, so I'll probably allow this top stem to grow, be the dominant shoot, and then I'll chop it off so that it kind of looks like a standard again. But that is the majority of everything. The Sarracenia there, this Sarracenia flower is growing lovely and tall. I did cut all of the pictures off the other day and they're just down in that pot there. But like this one here, you can see all these new shoots coming up. So that is going to be like a pretty impressive display. And on here we've got this main one here is bent. They sometimes do that, sometimes from aphid damage, and sometimes they just do it because they want to. But yeah, there's a couple of new traps coming up on that. And my lemon plant, tree, shrub is growing a lot of new growth, so that's really good. And the agaves there are doing fine. Right, so I'm quickly going to pot up my lilies. These are, I've got Lilium Pretty Woman and another variety which I didn't take note of the names. So Lilium Miss Faya. So Miss Faya and Pretty Woman. I'm sure you all know how to spell Pretty Woman, but there, just in case. I bought these from J Parker's online, which is quite affordable, I'll say. Quite an affordable website, I think. Compared to like crocus and primrose are quite expensive, in my opinion. That's just me, my preference. Now, obviously, lily bulbs are very poisonous, so don't be licking your fingers if you're planting these. That doesn't look very healthy. I mean, a couple of these, you can expect a couple of the like slices to kind of look a bit naff. I'm gonna pull that one off. It's actually squishy. I'm just sitting here fiddling with the bulb. Yeah, like, look at, that's just, I don't want to plant that in there. But that is the Pretty Woman. These are the ones that grow 2.5 meters tall. Let me check these actually, because they do look really naff. Oh, these look, they'll come back fine. They just look like awful. That just looks like a dried apple, doesn't it? That looks really dry. So I'm gonna just get these in. How much did I pay for these? I think they were like $5.99 for 3 bulbs. And if they do grow to 2.5 meters tall, I'm not expecting them to grow 2.5 meters tall in their first year. I'd expect them to maybe grow like 2. I don't know. I really don't know. I just don't expect them to reach their maximum size just yet. So I'm just going to be planting them into these pots this size. I don't know what size that is for now, and only because I don't know where they're going to be going in the garden just yet. So I'm going to stick them in these pots nice and deep. I'll plant them at about there. That doesn't give them too much root space at the moment, but I'm going to be planting them out like within a month, so it's not going to be any problem at all. I have no compost other than the compost I'm saving for my hanging baskets, so I'm literally going to be grabbing the dirt from the floor in my greenhouse. And I grow plants in here, as you know. I grow plants in here, so it's quite nice soil anyway, and they're not going to be in these pots for very long. So this is a very weird video, but I should probably turn the camera around and show you what I'm doing. Right, so I'm just going to be filling it up about that much, and these bulbs I'm going to stick quite close together, just like so. Can you see that? Yes. Just like that, and they'll come up nicely. This one here, you can see where it's had a flower stalk before, just there. So that's pretty good. Is it good? I guess it's good. It's positive. It means that it'll probably definitely flower this year. And there is all sorts in this soil, like sphagnum moss, bits of old. I'll take out the bits of old traps just because I don't want those going rotten in there. But like there's perlite, peat, stones, all sorts. But these are pretty hardy plants, so there's really no problem. And desperate times call for desperate measures. So the only thing I don't like about using soil from my garden is how many weeds come up in the pots. But again, like that's really not a big deal. I'm going to label them. That was Pretty Woman, just for a record on here so I don't forget. That was Pretty Woman, and these are, what was it, Miss Faye or something like that? Faya. Here we are. So just, the reason I want to plant these quite deep in here is because although lilies they are very hardy. I believe they're hardy down to -15 or something like that. It's just with bulbs, when you're planting them out, it's good practice to always plant them a little deeper than recommended, because the deeper they are, obviously not too deep that they can't come up, but it's like rule of thumb to plant them 2 times their depth. So if it's that deep, you'll plant it 2 times that, so it'll be about that deep. You can't even see that. Sorry, about that deep under. And it's important to do that so they don't get damaged by the frost, by the severe cold weather and all that. But with a lot of my bulbs, I do plant them a tiny bit deeper than that, especially the tender ones, the ones that aren't super hardy. This soil's really nice under here. It's just the stuff on top where I just throw like all sorts on there. That's not so good, but yeah. So I'm going to be labelling those, and that's that. Hopefully they should come up, or maybe 2 weeks. I'll expect to see them. I'll keep them watered. I'll keep them inside the greenhouse just to give them a little bit of a head start with that extra warmth. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on these. If you've grown these giant lilies before, let me know how yours do and any tips or recommendations with these, because I've grown a lot of lilies but never the giant ones, so that's quite exciting. Now I'm just going to spend a minute just potting up some of these scabies, and my face is covered in spots at the moment. It's horrible. Just get some of these into some bigger pots, because otherwise they're going to decline very quickly in the heat of the greenhouse. They just dry up really quickly in these tiny cells. So I'm going to do like a little collage montage of me just putting up a few things. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys are getting on with your like seedlings in this heat. If you're in the UK, we've just had like a week and a half, 2 weeks of like super hot weather, which sometimes happens this time of year, but most often doesn't happen this time of year. So it's causing a lot of like trouble in the greenhouse, but also causing a lot of things to just shoot up. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with potting those up, and I'll get back to you in a second. Now growing in these cells here, in this cell tray, makes it so easy to just transplant them, because they do come up really nicely. Let me see if I can balance that on there. What I often mess up with is pushing this bit of plastic really hard. If you push that really hard, it often like crumples and grabs onto some of the roots. So you just want to like gently loosen it and then just kind of pull on that on that leaf, the baby leaf. So the cotyledon leaf, that's what you want to pull on. Obviously don't pull it too hard, because that's when you'll snap it. But yeah, that is often the best way I find to do it. Obviously everyone has their own ways. And then just plonk a couple of holes, nope, a hole with a couple of fingers. Obviously I'm not teaching you how to transplant seedlings, because it's not rocket science, but yeah, that's just how I'm going to be transplanting all these. I don't know what size pot this is. What's that, like 6 centimeters or something? No, like 3-inch pots. I don't know, I think. So I'm just going to be carrying on with a few of them here, just getting them into these so that they survive a bit better in this greenhouse. Just gently. The ones that are resisting, I just won't pull on them too hard, because I'll like fiddle around with them afterwards and get them out gently. But yeah, nice root systems on there. They're very wet at the moment just because I watered them today, so they're gonna appreciate going into these pots of just like damp soil rather than sopping wet soil. So I'm not going to be transplanting anything else at the moment, although I would quite like to transplant the courgettes, as they are huge in those tiny cells. So here you can see the root structure is just perfect for the size. It's perfect time to transplant these. It's not too, well, it's not root bound at all, and it's got its true leaves. This one came up with 3 cotyledon leaves, which is quite interesting, unique. So yeah, that's the perfect size to transplant. Right, so I've just finished potting up all of the scabies. They're all in these pots now. Sorry if this was a bit like rushed, or it felt very rushed when I was filming, but I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video and have enjoyed seeing the quick update of all of my seedlings. Everything is growing super quick now, so there'll be a lot more videos, and everything's growing in the garden as well. So I may include at the end of this a few clips from outside, just to show you what's going on. My lilies are going crazy. My bananas, I've like unwrapped the tops of them, so the leaves are starting to unfurl, but I haven't unwrapped the bases. Also my wisteria, which some of you guys may know about, which I've grown from seed 8 years ago now, has finally got a few flowers coming on it, so that is going to be a huge video on this channel. Well, huge video to me, it won't be a huge video. But I grew that from seed 8 years ago, and I have waited every year. Obviously I knew it wouldn't flower until, they say that it'll flower after 7 years, and last year I was waiting so patiently, checking like the buds to see if any of them were flower buds. Unfortunately they weren't, but this year there are some. I'll insert a quick clip of what's growing at the moment, and it's my time to go for dinner, so I'll show you some quick bits, and thank you guys for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all growing some seeds, because it will keep you occupied. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I'll appreciate any comments you guys have, and I always appreciate your views, and my reoccurring viewers, I appreciate you a lot more than you probably understand. So please leave a like and subscribe if you're enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one.